Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I am sitting next to Matt.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
This is take two for us. We got a little distracted in the middle. Our daughter's like, I need to talk. And I'm like, is it an emergency? She's like, no, just call me later.
Yeah, we never do take twos. We always just roll even with mistakes unless it's one of our kids reaching out to us. Then we stop.
Yep. I got a little distracted and I'm back. I'm excited about this specific episode. I'm excited about this time of year, if I'm being super honest. I love this time of year because of what's about to happen or what's like getting ready to start. But I really love the fact that we have like one last heat wave before it starts getting cold. I'm really excited about that. I know nobody else is, but I'm like, our son, who works construction, he's like, Mom, quit wishing for heat. It's like, I know, buddy, it'll be cold here soon enough. But I want to talk about right now. Right now is a unique time of the year. And it is also a unique time that only happens a couple of times every decade.
Yeah, and I would say unique makes me giddy.
Giddy?
Giddy. Hungry.
Giddy.
Salivating, all of it.
Okay.
I'm ready to crush some shit.
Go on.
What I mean by that, well, we're going to get into what I mean by that. But when I say I'm talking about winning some stuff, and I don't think winning is a zero-sum game, meaning you don't have to lose for me to win. That's not. Win-win is the best solution. But at the end of the day, right now is the time to get ahead in whatever you want to get ahead in, which is what we're going to go over today.
Okay, but let's rewind just a bit.
Okay. Where I'm going with this is I see so many opportunities. Not only for you and I, but for other people. And it's right in front of us if you look at what we dive into today. So there's going to be some people that are listening today that are going to hear this and sit closer and listen closer and say, holy shit, this is a unique time that I actually can get ahead.
You know, that's so funny. And I'm already going to go off subject, but that's why you love me. We had a chance to experience that, like, there's opportunities all around us. We got a chance to experience that on Sunday. We went and toured a home. We're not thinking of moving. We're just looking at the opportunities that are out there. And I think we sat at dinner, and I was sharing this with a couple of my members because they're like, oh my God, are you moving? I'm like, no, I'm not moving. This was an immersion experience. This is just us to experience the abundance that is at our fingertips. We didn't have to travel anywhere. This abundance is literally in our backyard. And, we sat at dinner that night and started looking at numbers, and it didn't really seem that far out of reach.
No.
Like this home that's 10 times what our home is worth. And it really wasn't out of reach. So opportunities everywhere. So we're probably going to riff a little on this subject, and I apologize for the tangent, but we are going to close this episode up with what exactly you need to do to crush some shit, as Matt said so eloquently. And we're going to show you how to get ahead in your fitness and in your business because it is such a unique time.
Yeah, we'll probably openly talk a little bit more here, but let's jump back into the bullet points and roll with this.
I'm down.
Yeah.
So what is going on right now that happens every single year that people are just, oh God, we just can't wait, right? We are hitting September. If you're a baseball fan, things are starting to heat up for the playoffs. Thank God we're rolling, Royals fans. And if you're a football fan, you can pretty much watch football every single day starting next weekend. Like you can binge college football on any day, like all day Saturday, and then the NFL all day Sunday and Monday and Thursday. And but there's also a ton of other things like back to school and kids' activities are picking up. Maybe your kids are in sports. Both of our kids started college this week. Our daughter's service organization and her sorority both started up heavy this week. So like there's so much like things that are like in that starting block position. And then we have Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas and lots of stuff. But I want to focus just a little bit on the sports because I will never, ever, 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 ever say that again. Probably.
We've got it recorded.
We have it recorded. Mark the date and time. I wanted to focus on sports. Yeah. we are huge Chiefs fans. I grew up a Chiefs fan. I defected for a little bit while Drew Brees was with the Saints. He retired. I'm back. Thank you for having me back, Chiefs Nation. Matt is also a huge Royals fan, and I enjoy watching the games with him. I cheer for Salvi. I cheer for Bobby. I cheer for Pasquantino or Sasquatch. But this past Friday, we had a little bit of a later workout. We had a pretty busy day, and we're able to get to the gym and lift and finished up. It wasn't late, but it was late enough to where it was like, I'm not cooking. It's past 7. Let's just go grab a bite, maybe grab a cocktail. So we stopped by one of our local pubs, and we sat at the bar, and the Royals game was on. I think we were playing Phillies.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I think we were playing the Phillies. So, Kelly, I silently cheered for your child as well, if you're listening. Our previous manager's son is on their AA, AAA team. What is it called?
I'm not sure where he's at. He's in one of the minor league systems.
He's one in the minor leagues as a pitcher. So go Connor. Anyway, so we sat at the bar and Royals were on, and so we were cheering them on. And I want Matt to finish this up, but there was a guy that was right next to us.
Yeah. So there's a guy right next to us, and he's drinking beers, and he's got an entire plate full of fried food.
He's elbow deep at the bar. Yeah. Like if you've ever seen somebody just like literally hunched at the bar.
And I'm not being hypocritical because Jen and I were having cocktails as well, as she said, but we were eating pretty healthy at that time. But the guy leans over to me and says, so you guys are huge Royals fans? And I said, yeah, we're huge Royals fans. As I'm saying that, I see a bunch of other guys just going nuts at the end of the bar for the Royals. So I follow that up with, I really want them to win. If they do, that's great. But if they don't win, it's not going to affect my life. I mean, I'll be sad for 30 seconds and then I'll move on. And there's a point to that we'll get back to. But then he asked, how many games have you guys been to this summer? And I'm thinking, man, a lot of games, a lot of baseball games, 160 some games in a season, I think. And I told him, we've had so many priorities this summer that we actually haven't even made it to one game.
Well, I've never made it to any game, so there's my priority.
I did not make it to any games yet this year.
But you said the word priorities. I think that's the key. And this isn't shitting on anybody that goes to Royals games or Chiefs games. As we get into football season, a good chunk of Americans are going to let their lives be completely dominated by sports all weekend and most weeknights. Now, do successful people just not get to enjoy these things? No. We are successful. We're going to go to a couple of games. We're going to the home opener for the Chiefs, and then we're flying to Vegas to go see them as well. So do we get to enjoy these things? Absolutely. But the point is, so many people will root another team or another player, but they never root for themselves. They never put the time that they invest into a team into the time that they invest in themselves. And they'll talk about the strategy of having like this player like play or running more of this play or all the sports things that people say. But even during their work week, talking to, those armchair quarterbacks, right? Like talking to their buddies about, they will never spend that amount of time to strategize on their own lives.
They live to wear another guy's name on the back of their shirt.
Holy shit, mic drop. How true is that, though?
It's very true. Now, we're going to get into why this is such a great time to be on a mission in your business or your health or your relationship. But I want to jump into that other part that Jen mentioned, that this is a unique time that only happens a couple times a decade. So I want everyone listening right now, I want you to do your best. I want you to take a deep breath with me, just one of those deep breath. And I know this is going to be very tough for some of you, but I want you to do your best to put your political views aside for 2 minutes, probably even less than that, maybe 60 seconds, and hear me out.
Hold your mouth shut.
Yeah. All of my Democratic friends were sucked into the recent Democratic National Convention. All they can talk about on one hand is how great Joe Biden was. Then on the other hand, they're talking about how Harris is going to come in and fix these problems. And they're just talking about it all the time. Like binging football on the weekend. It's just all consuming their life. Listen to what I just said. If Biden was so good, why does Harris have so many problems to fix? It makes no sense, but that's all they talk about.
With majority in the House and the Senate, but never mind.
It's just a bunch of time and energy wasting doing this talk. Now, I told you to sit back, hold your political views, because I'm not bashing on Democrats. The Republicans on the other side, all they can talk about is how bad Harris is and how Trump's going to fix everything. Then what's going to happen after this is this unique time is for months, Trump is going to do something surprising to catch the media's attention. And the Democrats are going to come unglued and post all over social media about how whatever he is, just spewing hate, which in turn is going to have the Republicans spewing hate all over how great Trump is. Should you have political views? Yes, absolutely you should. Should you be able to openly discuss those? Absolutely. Do I have strong political views? Yes.
Yep.
But I don't give a crap whether you're Republican, Democrat, or liberal. That is not the point. What I just said is not the point. I was not there to offend anyone because I basically trashed both of them. The point is the last time you fucking crushed something, the last time you crushed a competitor, you crushed a goal, I guarantee it, you were 100% focused on the goal, the end goal. Then you were laser focused on the daily tactics, and nothing got in your way, including who's going to be president and who's playing on Sunday, because it was so important to you.
Conveniently distracted, right?
Yes.
Like it is. It's just a distraction game. The reason this is a unique time, though, is there are going to be so many people with their eyes off the ball. They're going to be conveniently distracted. And all they're going to be doing is living and dying by their team's performance or what they saw on Fox News or CNBC or what's going on Twitter and diving into that rabbit hole. For you, I am talking to you, the one who has started listening a little closer because you want that edge that we talked about when we opened this up. You don't want to be one of the conveniently distracted. This is the time that you start putting the building blocks in place. So by February, by January, you're showing up with that rockin' body. You've got those steps in place to help automate things in your business. You just can't wait for spring break to roll around so you can show off this new body at the pool in front of your kids. This is also the time you put in that extra effort. Maybe it's a few extra late nights. Maybe it's sometimes on the weekend, curating and perfecting your business or how you perform at your job, or maybe learning a new skill that will amplify your current job so that when the new year rolls around, everyone else is like, how the hell did they accomplish that? How did they get so far ahead in a short amount of time?
Damn, I'm excited. Opportunities galore. But before we jump into that, I just touch on one thing to make it crystal clear. What Jen is saying is if you put in a little bit of effort right now, while everyone else is distracted, it's like a multiplier because they're going backwards and you're putting in the extra effort and it is a multiplier. That's how you get into January, February, and everyone's like, what the hell just happened? How did they get so far?
Separation season.
Separation season, yes. So let's take them through exactly what we just did. And we'll do the Cliff Notes version to keep it short, but the steps, these are the steps you can take for that separation season, for that to get ahead. The first one is, there's 5 of them. The first one is literally list your goal out on paper. You know, I want to be this by March 1st or whatever that goal is. Number 2 is you need to list out the reasons of why you want that goal. This is why I want this, whatever that is. Number 3 is you have to list out the items that you need to do. You can't just use manifestation. This is what I have to do daily to hit that goal. So those are your first 3. List out the goal, list out why you want that goal, list out the daily items that you must do. And then the 4th one is list out how you're going to measure your success, daily, weekly, monthly, however that is. Then here's the key, because the first 4 is easy. I think everyone can sit down today and do those. I mean, well, you'd have to dig in on your why and really get there, but essentially the first 4 is easy. The 5th one is probably what is missing. The 5th one is just as easy if you take the time to do it. You review these notes that you made every single morning and every single night. And sometimes I would even recommend taking a little bit of a time during a lunch break to review them as well. And you may be saying, does this really work? Is this really what's going to help me? I'll get back to this hack shortly, but Jen, take them through. I know we talked about a very specific example that you could use. Take them through that example on how this would work on the fitness side for a client.
Yeah. I want to jump back. I'm hijacking your podcast, Mr. Rhodes. I want to jump back into number 5. I have a timer set in my calendar with the notes already set in it so that it just brings it up so that I can review. I also carry all of those items on note cards, and I keep it in my purse. So if I'm getting ready to walk into an event, let's say I have a speaking engagement, let's say I'm going into a group of women that I've never met before and I only know one person in that room of 2,000, I look at those cards before I go in, and it gives me just kind of like that little, I don't know, it just helps zip me up, right?
And I'm going to talk why that hack works. It's not a just listing them out, and it's not a fairy tale. I'm going to give you exactly why it works here in a minute.
Yeah. I had a client that said we set it up this way, and I will say that most of my clients set it up this way, and we do it for several different goals. But here is what we did about this time last year with this specific client. I'm going to call her Kim, right? Number 1, I want to have a sexy body that everyone takes notice of by March 1st. This was her goal.
So that's step 1.
Number 2, I want this so that when my husband sees me, he is not only shocked, but proud of the work I've done and gets excited when I take my clothes off at night. Number 3, I want this so that when I walk into a room of others, they take me serious immediately at my job, professionally. These were a couple of her reasons why. So, step 2, I need to hit my macros daily. I need to hit my steps daily. I need to work out 4 times a week. I need to hit my water intake. I need 7 hours of sleep. I need to be okay with gaining weight September through December. These are her daily actions and her understanding that she might actually gain a little bit of weight, right? We're talking about the variables. Here's like manage the manageables. These are the manageables. I will log every meal and do my weekly check-in for feedback and adjustments. That's a big one, right? How often do people just go off into the ether and as coaches, they're like, hey, you alive? You see, Kim knows the plan. She knows we're going to be eating a lot of food to fuel her workouts so she can build muscle. She also knows that we are going to harness the later part of the year where we might be a little calorie heavy. Family events, right? The holidays. She knows that by doing this, we're amping up her metabolism so that when January hits and everybody's getting started in their journey, her body is already primed and ready to turn into a fat-burning machine January 1, and it will just melt off, leaving her with chiseled shoulders, abs, and a booty that bounces.
That's a perfect example. I mean, that is the 5 steps right there, taking them through. So when I was listening to those 5 steps and you wondered how to do it, just go back and listen. That's just one example. But here's how I want to jump to how that hack works. I hate to call it a hack, but writing these down and cheat code, and then revisiting them in the morning and then at night and then in the day. I would highly suggest that. Here's how this works. Instead of getting up in the morning and pulling up social media, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, and seeing what Donald Trump just did that's absolutely crazy, and then how Harris is responding to it, you're looking towards your future. You're going over your goals. You're not being, what did you call it, the distraction?
Conveniently distracted.
Conveniently distracted in the morning thinking about these things. You are looking at your goals and what you need to do for the day. You're getting focused. Instead of going to bed at night and reading the news, you're thinking about your future because you just reviewed your future. Now, are you going to enjoy yourself and go to some football games? Absolutely, you are.
Do it.
Are you going to spend every single Sunday or Monday or whatever it is watching your favorite football team play? Yeah, there's no problem with that. However, looking at these goals daily and laser focused and how you're going to achieve this goal is the key. Doesn't mean you can't have fun. It just means you can't be conveniently distracted for 4 months straight of all the bullshit that's getting ready to come. When you're focused like this, meaning you know the goal, you know why you have the goal, you know what you need to do, and you have a way to check progress, it blocks all that nonsense out. And you're not going to spend all day drinking, watching sports. You may spend a few hours, but not all day. Or even feeding into the political garbage and thinking that the world is on fire. Instead, you're looking at your world and seeing your future.
You know, language is so important. And some people think, oh my God, my world's on fire. I'm like, yeah, mine's on fire too, right? Like, we are crushing this thing. My world is on fire. It's all about how you perceive it. And it's from these tactics, right?
Yep.
The election's going to happen regardless. How much time and energy are you going to invest into that instead of investing into something that you have full control over? You have full control over your future. This is your wake-up call today. Wake up. You've been distracted. 2/3 of the year is gone. Use this last third to set yourself up to crush some shit in 25.
I love you using that quote.
Crush some shit. That's really hard to say with all those S's. Guys, we're going to wrap this up before my tongue gets completely twisted. I hope you found value in today. I hope you share this with somebody that you also think will find value. If you do, tag us in your Instagram stories, like it, share it, give us a 5-star review, do all the things. Subscribe to us on YouTube. It's the only way we get this message out to more people. And as always, y'all, we'll talk next time.